But this good that we're talking about means really good quality. It's very difficult to say that was a good joke, but it really hurt the person who heard it. Or that was a good joke, but it was so cruel. Something not right there. A good joke is a good joke is a good joke. Now here's something very interesting. It's possible that the world is continually trying to give birth to a joke that's better than all the ones that have come before. In fact, it's possible to embrace this subject so fully that we're asking ourselves, what is the best joke that was ever heard or stated? And how would we know? What if the whole world began to laugh? Gustav Mahler said, what if the whole world began to sing and then went on to write symphonies like his Titan Symphony? What if the whole world was in a paroxysm of laughter? And what if the laughter that made the world go sane was caused by a song? It would be pretty funny if I tried to play this harmonica. It's called a mouth organ in England. I don't know why. Since I can't, it would be raucous. It would be a cacophony instead of a polyphony. But that's a big part of what this is about. In dealing with astronomy, astronautics, cosmology, space sciences, we routinely ask questions about the world as a whole. Somebody has to. I think there's a powerful sense in military circles of government, especially in what you might call the stronger countries, that the world is a tragedy waiting to happen. In fact, I think you could say that that's a stock in trade of the conversation of many leaders in the field. Certainly it makes a good press, I suppose, at least in terms of getting attention. And to the extent that the military-industrial complex is a real thing, a beast, a moloch, then the story of the impending tragedy of humanity is glamorous within its own limits. It's pathetic, certainly, but it's a sort of attention getter. Second best, you know. The women of the world have a very different view in my way of thinking. They see the world as not a potential tragedy, but as a potential, not comedy perhaps, but a potential love story. And I think that these three things are connected in the following way. If we learn that seeing the world as a tragedy waiting to happen, whether it's global warming or gamma rays, or a meteorite that extinguished us like the dinosaurs, or more likely a nuclear, atomic, bacteriological war, then we will feel the right anguishes and live accordingly. But these things are learned behaviors, and they're responses to a sense of guilt too. Understandable. But over and over again there have been new beginnings. And one of those new beginnings, plenary indulgence for our wrong thinking about the tragic nature of the world, will be to transition to the idea of the woman's view of the world as a potential love story, or even an incipient love story, by seeing it all as a big joke, a comedy waiting to happen. However, there's a couple of different meanings about the idea of the world as a joke. One, Elie Wiesel, in one of his novels, sees Mother Earth as regarding Homo sapiens as vermin, and the extinction of these infestations is something that Mother Earth is glad to do, shucking off this abysmal species like a disease. This is how one of his books ends. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of it. I was probably too embarrassed to memorize it, but this sort of thing is actually a kind of schizophrenic fantasy about destroying the whole world. Theodore Isaac Rubin, in his book Compassion and Self-Hate talks about the difference between someone who commits suicide and someone whose hate is so great that he wants the whole world to blow up with him. I'm always intrigued when I hear people saying that they wish the whole world would come to an end. It's very impertinent, to wish other people's lives to end. I think they can make their own decisions. But we can inspire people with the hope that the world is a joke in a different sense. Homo sapiens doesn't have to be some doomed, tragic creatures we've seen in so many books, and which we've even put into the philosophy of the second law of thermodynamics and the triumph of entropy leading to the heat-death theory of the universe. We've even made that an official philosophy to express our sense of guilt. But that's just a fantasy. There's no reason to believe it, and one might just as well see it all as a vast act of humor, which we're co-creating. The Comedy Lab has as one of its first principles to retell the narrative of the world, to see it as an opportunity to achieve balance by a world laughing together and shaking off not our identity, but our gloom, so that we can come to the third stage of our evolution. People working from tragedy to comedy to mature love. And so, as ontogenesis recapitulates phylogenesis, the opposite is true too. The evolution of humanity on the drama stage takes us through humor and laughter and maybe some tears. The world of love, our world.